We're not raising it. Have you seen an increase?
And we appreciate that.
Well, we'll just make a few by now. I would say, I mean, again, it depends on what you want to accomplish, too. I mean, do you want to put more of that money into Plan 2 or Plan 3, you know what I mean, to make it so this is a little more attractive for people to go to Plan 2?
Use the $108,000 to subsidize your preferred plan,
That's typically what we would see. I mean, that's
I would think, Julie, they'd want to take that whole $100,000 this next year. It's just
a portion of it.
To so that pool doesn't keep going up, so it gradually goes down a little bit.
Yes, I mean, I guess my thoughts were we could comfortably use 50 of it to make some changes.
And again, and if that's the goal, is to get more people kind of off of Plan 1, for lack of better terms, and moving towards taking on a little more liability. Whether it be, I mean, and I say liability as much as just paying for the full offices, or, you know, again, picking up the $100 deductible.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, I think I understand.
I mean, I think that does
take 50,000 of it to leave 150.
Yeah,
and use that 50,000
to offset some premium increase. That's one choice that we have to make. This.
And we just do it. Like say we're going to offer 3. Actually, we offer 3 plans.
Yeah.
Say.
Of which number 3 wasn't used at all.
Yeah, I mean you've got an appropriate price too for the employees to buy into it.
Yeah.
So we offer 2 plans, one right at
and we're you have 2. I guess we have several significant choices, but the one being, are we willing to use a portion of our self-fund dollars, which I think we are, approximately 50. The second choice is, do we change the county's purchase of the plan from Walmart? Do we want to slide over to the green one here, or do we want to stay where we are?
And what do you want to offer as plan choices for your employees?
So that would be the 3 million.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, and you guys know this, but we can make any plan you want. If you want a plan that's 700, whatever the dollar amount is, you want maybe something in between 500 and 750, you want a $600 deductible, and you want them to pay for all the office visit co-pays with the $25, we can do that. We can make the plan whatever you want. Just know that every dollar, essentially, that you're pushing to the employee, that's just less liability to the county. Again, weigh what's important to the employees.
I guess I would, my personal thought is to lean towards an existing plan. Okay. I mean, you start tweaking it here and there, and then people have confusion about what you have and what you don't. I mean, Wellmark has a number of plans, and I would prefer that we just chose one that's consistent, that's there, okay. And with our changes being whether we slide over in our self-fund purchase, and then kind of the plans that we have to offer. What do you guys?
Are you guys comfortable with making the plan change? I guess that's the first question. Going to the green plan.
What's your recommendation?
My recommendation would be to move. I think that gives you a lot more, again, flexibility and based on your enrollment, and again, knowing that most families don't have 3 full deductibles. We're actually bridging that gap by going to a lower deductible and just having that third time.
So maybe 1,000 per individual. I mean, 1,500 per individual.
Yep, not 4,500 for a family. So.
And that's the plan we'd buy down.
Right.
And right now you guys are purchasing a $2,000 deductible not to exceed $4,000 for a family. So to me that's a good small change, but it gets us on that track, or, okay, can we take some advantages of, again, not having that third family out there, and so.
Yeah, because some of those that are already in the existing family plan don't have 3 members.
Okay.
Right,
I
right.
mean,
So the most deductible on 2 members would be 3,000 anyway.
And so you're
So I-
liability
yeah, it
actually
makes
goes back,
sense.
so your
Yeah.
liability actually goes
Yeah,
back.
I like the 30% plans because of the cost differential and premiums. I've used it a lot on my smaller groups.
It's 9% increase over,
It's like a 0.7.
0.7% increase over what you're paying today. On that green sheet, look at the very first plan, and then when you, or the very first column, that's your current rate, and then you go to that very last plan. So you're actually looking at premium going from 251 to 271 on single, and from 628 to 625 on family. But overall, calculated out by your numbers, it comes up with a 0.7% premium increase. And you put the self-funded next to it.
So what would be your recommendation then as far as if we're agreeing to use part of this, of our pool, which that's what it was constructed for, where do we direct that, and what would you suggest?
I would suggest to put more of that money towards offsetting the premium of plan number 2. And if you're not bound by plan number 2 through a contract, I would actually roll some of the reimbursement, or get rid of some of the reimbursements. I would actually have the employee pay the full $25 co-payment and pay the full $200 off, or emergency room co-payment. I think the $100 deductible for the drug is a sticky. Joe, do you have, okay. If I'm on that plan, if you're going to reimburse my prescription, really nothing else is going to be, I don't have to wait for a $5 check, it's not that big of a deal, I'm already used to paying $20.
Yep.
If you offset my premium to accommodate that, I'm going to take that plan. And so if I were going to put my money, that's where I would focus it. And again, just getting people more used to paying a little bit more for their insurance.
They're all expecting to pay a little bit more.
Yeah, and ER as opposed to drugs, you know, you're gonna spend your drugs every month, you're not gonna
That's true
spend your
too.
ER every month.
I would, if I were you, I would seriously look at eliminating that very first plan.
Well, I don't think we have to eliminate it, you just
Or
don't
price
subsidize.
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Price
I mean,
it.
you do not subsidize it at the level that you do number 2.
Let them eliminate it.
Yeah, right.
That's correct.
That's what happened with plan number 3.
Price it, right.
Yeah.
Price it accordingly. And then I don't know if you have to reintroduce Plan 3. You know, you've got to put the figures together.
And
I think
it,
if 2 is priced right, you're not gonna have anybody on 3 again anyway.
Well, it depends upon how the pricing is
Absolutely.
across the board.
Absolutely.
and that's by not eliminating it, if they have a desire to have that number 1
About
plan,
the only one that is gonna choose that is if somebody comes in as a new employee and has to pay the difference between the premium and the single. You know, the
Oh, the
premium would be
750,
lower.
you mean?
Mhm. With the single,
That's
it would be
true.
lower.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good
So you
point.
really
Yeah.
can't eliminate it, you've gotta offer it for those people.
That's a good point.
Well, and you guys can, I mean, we can,
Yeah,
if you
we-
eliminate the drug, if you eliminate the office visit reimbursement, you can, I mean, get it to $750. You can make that option number 2, the family cost $750 easily.
Which page are you on?
Just, I'm on page 10 of the one without the green.
By doing that, and I have no problem with what Keely's saying, but making that $25 if they're paying out of their pocket instead of 20, you are changing the plan, the Blue Cross plan design, which I have no problem with that. You can set it wherever you want. You know, those $5 is not a lot, but it does add up. You don't have a report that shows the $5 you paid
I
in
don't
office
have that.
visit.
My initial thought was that I would like to stay with a given plan and not waver on, just because they can look at it, this is what we have, and it's consistent. It would be helpful to know what that cost might be, you know, to how big a deal is it?
Yeah,
Is-
how much did the $5 off visit cost on plan?